One of the biggest mysteries in the NBA is the Thunder's master plan. I mean, we all know they have enough draft picks to pull off some gigantic trade, but when? And how good are these draft picks? Who could they actually get? Which current players will stay? So many questions! But after digging into the details, the answer at the end of this video is fascinating. The best case scenario for any plan is to get back to where they were like 10 years ago. The only way you win is with superstars. They had 3: Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook. We all know they ruined that by trading Harden to Houston, but the reason they did it is dumb. They just didn't want to pay him. Really, it is that simple. OKC thought Serge Ibaka was a better fit for the money. And I don't care how their careers played out, breaking up the 2012 Finals team was a mistake. But people don't tell the rest of the story. After KD left, GM Sam Presti dealt Ibaka for Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis. Russ wanted another superstar, so they traded them for Paul George. So technically, they chose Paul George over James Harden. Kind of. The Russ PG thing obviously didn't work out, so they started the rebuild. And not just any rebuild, the Process 2.0. And I don't hear people compare these rebuilds enough. I mean, what OKC is doing is basically what the Sixers did in the mid-2010s. Philly literally tried to lose and trade anyone who was talented enough to get high picks. They did draft Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, but that's not the only way to get stars in the league. You can 1, draft them, 2, sign them in free agency, or 3, trade for stars. And at the end of this video, I'll tell you what the Thunder's plan most likely is. But we can cross off free agency because superstars don't want to play in the big friendly, more like the Big Apple. So that leaves the draft and free agency, which brings us to the picks. They've got 38 draft picks the next 6 years. What? 19 firsts and 19 seconds. The complete breakdown is legendary. In 2019, they traded Paul George and Russ for control of 7 first-round picks. In 2020, they traded Chris Paul, Steven Adams, and Danny Green for 3 firsts. And in 2021, they traded the Alperen Şengün pick and a second for 3 firsts. So the Thunder are stacked until you look at the details. All the Clippers picks are unprotected, which looks great if PG and Kawhi don't play this year. In 2022, the Suns pick is top 12 protected. They're really good, so it'll be a low first. The Pistons pick is top 16 protected, so it'll stay with them. Then it stays protected all the way till 2027. Next draft starts with their own pick and the Clippers. Great. Then the Nuggets, Heat, and Wizards picks, all lottery protected, so they will be late in the first round, if at all. 2024, their own pick. The Rockets, top 4 protected, which is a toss-up. I mean, Houston could be bad for a while and keep their own pick, you never know. The Clippers pick, perfect. The Jazz, top 10 protected, that could become second-round picks. 2025, their own first, the right to swap with the Rockets or Clippers, whoever is better. Top 6 protected from Philly, a Rockets top 4 protected, the Clippers first, and in 2027, just their own first. Okay, that was a lot, and I don't blame you if you didn't completely follow, but basically, they're not as stacked as it looks. I mean, a lot of it really depends on the Clippers, who used to be the worst team in the league, but not anymore. Not only is Steve Ballmer not racist like Donald Sterling, but he's the richest owner in sports. Dude has $96 billion. That is more than double the next richest guy. The Clippers also have the market of LA and a new arena coming soon. So to me, actually picking these picks is not a good idea. Most of them are going to be low in the first round. Even top picks, though, are a crapshoot. Remember the Process Sixers? With all of their picks, this is what they did. 2013, Nerlens Noel, Michael Carter-Williams. 2014, Joel Embiid. 2015, Jahlil Okafor. 2016, Ben Simmons. 2017, Markelle Fultz. 2018, Mikal Bridges, who they traded to Phoenix. So even with 6 of 7 picks being top 10, they only got 1 true superstar. Most of the Thunder's picks are protected. Other teams that have drafted their star are the Warriors or the Bucks, and that kind of talent rarely comes along. I mean, the Dubs got Steph in 2009. Their last championship talent before that was Rick Barry in 1965. The Bucks got Giannis in 2013. Before him, Kareem in 1969. That is 44 years between all-time greats. I guess OKC could use most of these picks, but it's a huge gamble. So the other path is to trade, and the comparison I want to use is the Bulls. They went from a crappy team to #1 in the East in one offseason. None of their players were drafted by them. Zach LaVine trade, DeMar DeRozan sign and trade, Lonzo Ball trade, Vooch trade. The caveat is that they lured DeRozan in with a lot of money that no one else wanted to pay, but OKC can do that. Trading is faster and you know what you're getting, but whatever they do, OKC has to decide which current players are untouchable. Whenever a superstar gets traded, it always takes picks and talent. When the Lakers traded AD, they dealt picks and Brandon Ingram plus Lonzo Ball and Josh Hart. When the Nets wanted Harden, it was picks and Karis LeVert and Jared Allen. So if we rank the current Thunder players from best to worst, the untouchable guy is nobody. That's right, even Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Very few players should be truly untouchable, like Steph, LeBron, KD, Giannis. That's it. Everyone else can be had for the right price. Now, I know Thunder fans are gonna hate that because most people overvalue their own players, but this is just how it works. So if we look around the league at what superstar could become available like the next 10 years, I think the most likely players are Zion Williamson, Trae Young, he is from Oklahoma, and things aren't going perfect in Atlanta, Jason Tatum, LaMelo Ball, Karl Anthony Towns, and Ben Simmons. These guys are young enough to still be in their prime, better than SGA, and could end their career somewhere else. But I still don't think either of these plans is what OKC is gonna do. I think their most likely plan is a mix of trading and drafting. I think the Thunder will wait until there's someone they love in the draft and trade up. That is still risky because it's like what Philly did to get Markelle Fultz, but it makes the most sense. No team is better equipped to move up in the draft, and they only have 15 roster spots. You cannot physically fit all of these picks onto the same roster. The Thunder's plan is still a mystery, yes, but I think the most likely outcome is trading up in 1 or 2 different drafts to get star players to win a chip. So if you're an OKC Thunder fan, you better start watching college basketball. I mean, even if they don't get a top pick in this year's draft, they could package a bunch of stuff together to move up to get Paolo Banchero or Chet Holmgren, or just start watching like 8th grade basketball, because they may not love a player for quite a while in the NBA draft, but when they do, I expect the Thunder to package most of these assets together to move up in the draft to get a star, and hopefully for them, pair him with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and win a chip. So right now, you could say the Thunder have the best future in the NBA, but there's no guarantee of that. We have no idea what's gonna happen. That is the story of the Boston Celtics. They took the best future in the league and completely ruined it. I made an entire video on that story. Check it out.